Let's get into it. Let's talk a bit about me first. And as I said, after I took a look at my history, a lot of things kind of just fell apart. So I'm getting in and show you what that means. Because if you look at my career journey, now I'm talking about my career journey, not my jobs. I started off with a degree in science, physics, in astrophysics as a focus, and I taught in a planetarium. So now you've met someone that has. Most people have never met someone that, unless they went to a planetarium and talked to the person behind the projector. The projector is typically called a Spitz projector. That's the brand name. And I enjoyed doing that. And I transitioned from that into security and police work, which made perfect sense to me at the time. This is when a lot of people say, "How did your career get side railed, derailed or off track?" This made perfect sense to me because was always dealing with people. And to me, security and law enforcement is dealing with people as well. Now, there's the issue of knowing your job, knowing what the laws are, dealing with some people that may not want to deal with you. I get that part of it. And for a couple reasons, I ended up being convinced to take my background in science and dealing with computers. Now this was in the 70s, so computers were large and basic at the time, and I was convinced to convert that into my new career in computer security, as it was called in the 70s. And then before long, I was offered a management position. And I'm going to do a quick story on how I got that management position. I was working at an oil company, and you'll see who it is in a second. And the director to whom I reported said, this team is growing a bit, so I think we need a manager for it. And he told me, "I want you to interview all the candidates that I bring in and tell me which ones you think are best suited for it," which I thought was strange, but did it anyways. And every candidate that he put in front of me, to me, it wasn't the right fit. Either they knew nothing about security, or what they knew about security may have worked, but they clearly demonstrated they weren't going to be an effective leader. So I was upset and went to the director and I said, "I'm pretty tired of this. Every candidate you put in front of me is terrible." So he said, "Well, if you know so much about it, why don't you do it?" And I remember hearing myself say, "Sure, I'll do that," and then regretting it immediately. But actually, it was a really good move.